Hey guys, Token Vaping. And I do this every time. Okay, so I want to apologize ahead of time, and I'm going to try to speak a little bit louder for this video. That humming that you hear in the background, that is my fan. Unfortunately, it is really warm in my place right now. It was really hot out today, and for nighttime it has not cooled off a whole lot. As soon as I turn the fan off, I start to get really heated up, and I start to actually sweat almost immediately. So again, I'm very, very sorry, and my apologies go out to the company that I'm doing the review on. However, in order for me to be able to do this comfortably, I need to have the fan on. So with that, this is going to be the third and final leg of this trifecta flavor review. The company, boom, Aspire. #1 premium vape juice. And actually, they're not saying that they are #1. That is the actual name of the flavors. They have 3 of them: #1, #2, and #3. So not that they couldn't come up with names, but they weren't really worried about what to call the specific flavors. They were more focused on the quality of the flavors and making sure that the vape of them and the taste of them was on point, more so than how catchy the name was. You know the name of the company. Most people that have vaped have used something of theirs at one time, whether it was a device, a tank, anything, coils, whatnot. They've made a bunch of stuff. Aspire is one of the biggest known names in the business for vaping, and they decided to finally add a juice line to their repertoire of vaping products. And if you've watched my other videos, I did #1 and #2. #1 was a cinnamon funnel cake. #2 was a honeydew melon peach. So they basically, for the most part, are 2 for 2. So we're gonna hope that the third one knocks it out of the park for a solid triple hitter. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say that the flavors are 100% like the greatest thing in the world. In my opinion, they are a very solid line for their first shot into the juice world. And basically, that's really all it comes down to. This is my opinion. This is, how I react to the flavors. This is what I take out of it. Now, the person next door to me, the person down the street, a customer that comes into any given vape shop, their vaping preference and taste abilities are going to be completely different. So in no way, shape, or form am I trying to instill or invoke my opinion and my viewpoints of what I vape onto anybody. So I'm just trying to give you a more detailed, informative base to go off of so that it helps you make a better decision than just trying to guess. Again, like I said, this is with Aspire. It's Aspire Vape Co. and Aspire Hookah is the distribution aspect of this. You can go to the website. It's aspirehookah.com. They will have the pricing for the bottles as such on there. They are offered in 15 ml bottles. Company is based in LA, California, and there is 4 nicotine levels that are offered: a 0, a 3, a 6, and a 12. So they're trying to make a diverse enough base to cover as many vapors as possible, but their focus is not the nicotine. Their focus is not catchy names and phrases and things like that. It's quality vaping juice. It is a 70-30 mix. Now, the labels, like the shirt, like other things that you've seen from them, they are simplistic. They don't go for flashy. They don't go for, let's see how gaudy or tacky we can make this label. They basically are going for sophistication. They're going for simplicity, but it's still eye-catching, because if you look at it, it really is. It says the name, the number, which is the flavor, then I believe that is handcrafted in California, and then the nicotine level, and then it has all the standard warning labels, ingredient labels. They have the authenticity scratch off as here. They have the scan code, child safety cap. These will have safety wraps on them as per the new FDA regulations. These I got before the regulations went into effect, which is why you don't see a safety wrap, but I have seen people receiving them after, and they do come safety wrapped. So as far as following guidelines, regulations, rulings, anything that they have to do, Aspire will cover to ensure that they're following everything that they need to ensure that their product is out and is as safe and vapable as possible. So I have not tried this one. It is a first impression for this video. This is a double apple cinnamon. Basically, it is going to be 2 flavors of apples, the Red Delicious and the Granny Smith, I believe, to get a really nice mixture of the sweet and tart. It's also going to involve cinnamon with a hint of cream. So we will see how that tastes. I'm going to go ahead and bust this open, and I'm going to go ahead and drip this, and we're going to go ahead and vape this. And I'm going to tell you what it tastes like, and then you can kind of make your decision off of that. But like I said, the first two flavors, really solid for what they were. You know, I had a few little differences of my own as to what I got out of them, but in no way, shape, or form was it a negative towards the enjoyment of the vape. So if you do check out my other two videos, you can find out what I'm talking about. Now, this is number 3. Like I said, this is Double Apple Cinnamon, and I'm going to bust this open. I apologize. I have to make sure I do this all on camera because I want you all to know that I am doing this for real. Now, as you can see, brand new white cotton. I actually just wicked this right before I started this video, so it is dry. Nothing has touched that. And the reason for that is because the cotton that I use, the only cotton that I use by choice, is Texas Tough Cotton. It is not another pansy-ass cotton ball. It is a very durable, solid wicking cotton. It works pretty easy. It is very soft, and it is processed thoroughly well so that you don't get particles and other things in it. I have noticed that out of other cotton that I have used, it does hold up a little bit better. It does last a little bit longer, sorry. And it does, it performs really well and packs in flavor really solid. It doesn't give you a really big cottony taste to it. So if you are interested, on Instagram, it's Texas Tough Cotton. So as I'm going ahead and juicing this up, real quick, I just want to point out that anytime you get anything, whether it doesn't matter what it is, but anytime you make a purchase and there's supposed to be some kind of safety or security measure involved in that product, if you receive it and for whatever reason, does not matter what it is, does not matter how big or small it is, if something about that item does not make you feel comfortable using it at all, don't use it. Just don't. Contact the company that made it, contact the shop that you got it from, contact the distributor that distributes it if you have to, contact whoever you have to, explain to them what's going on, and they will make steps to make sure that it does get rectified so you get the product in the absolute top shelf condition that it was supposed to be received in, so that you will feel comfortable and okay with using it, because at the end of the day, it's really all about health and safety. So with that, go ahead and pop this on here. Number 3 from Aspire, 75 watts, Double Apple Cinnamon. We'll see what this tastes like. Oh, okay. Even off that first hit, yes, there's still a little bit of cotton to this, not much. Clouds are actually pretty solid. First hit I got was cinnamon, so if you are a fan of cinnamon, you will absolutely adore this. If cinnamon is not your cup of tea, but you can handle it, I'm just letting you know it is a little bit strong. Okay, so that was the initial vape. I'm going to go ahead and drip a little bit more to soak up that cotton just a bit more and see if I can get a little bit more flavor out of this. Okay, so absolutely do you get the cinnamon? For sure, 100%, there is no problem with that. On smell, you still get cinnamon, but as on the tail end of this vape, and with the smell, you also get the cream. So that's actually kind of nice, because it does help smooth it out. Now, onto the main point of this flavor, the double apple. Okay, so I do get 2 different apple tastes. However, and this is probably about the only negative thing that I can say about this. The cinnamon is definitely on point. I'm not a fan of cinnamon in actuality. I do eat some things that does have it in it, but as a vape, cinnamon is actually a nice little twist and touch to the flavor. Like I said, this is a little stronger than what I am used to and what I prefer. However, it is not too over the top. But it is enough to let you know that the flavor is there. The cream, like I said, definitely fills up on the end. It definitely smooths out the vape and makes it a lot more comfortable. Now with the Apple, the first inhale, the second that this vape hits your tongue, I almost do kind of feel like I'm biting into a Red Delicious. It doesn't have as sweet of a taste, but you definitely get the flavor of after you take a bite of it, the juice when it hits your mouth. That's the flavor that I get. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here because the picture, and this is the flavor menu that they send, this picture here. The picture, it's hard to, I'll be honest, it's kind of hard to see as far as to whether it's supposed to be a Golden Delicious with a red or a Granny Smith. Now, if it's a Granny Smith, it's gonna taste a bit muted, and like I said, that would probably be about the only negative thing that I could say about this flavor. The tartness that a Granny Smith has is not very abundant in this vape. If it is supposed to be a Golden Delicious, then it's not going to have a very strong flavor hit. Golden Delicious have more of a subtle sweetness to them. It is not as strong of a flavor as like a Red Delicious does. Either way, regardless of whether it's a Granny Smith or a Golden Delicious, overall the vape is actually very smooth. It is very enjoyable. Now, not even being 100% positive of which Apple the second is supposed to be, out of the three, I honestly say I'm gonna say that this is my favorite of the three. It has a light, crisp vape to it, but the cinnamon and the cream kind of give it just a little hit of a thickness to it that makes it a smooth, enjoyable all-day vape, as opposed to like a dessert flavor, which is really heavy, or like a fruitier drink style, which is a lot lighter and crisper. This is definitely a nice in-between. Like I said, on the inhale, it's mostly the red apple. The cinnamon is definitely abundant in the flavor overall, and the cream does give it a nice finish. So regardless of the minute details of the flavor itself, overall it is a really good solid vape. It's really enjoyable, and like I said, out of the three, this would probably be my pick for the one that I choose. But overall, all three flavors, the cinnamon funnel cake, the honeydew melon peach, double apple cinnamon, I mean, it is a pretty solid line. The flavors, for the most part, without being able to pick out every single specific one, overall the flavors are really solid. They're really enjoyable. They last throughout the vape. You don't feel like you're getting gypped on it. The clouds are really solid, as you can tell. I mean, it's a solid vape cloud. But everything else about the line is rock solid. It's coming from a very established, well-known company that does pride itself on quality and making sure that they follow everything that they need to ensure that all their products are proper and following all the rules and guidelines. But overall, it is a great line for a debut line. I mean, nobody's going to have a perfect line right out the door. But for what this is, it is a very solid 3-flavor line to add into an already well-established company for vaping devices and accessories. So with that, I would definitely, most shops already are carrying Aspire products, so it's not like you're going out on a limb to try to bring in something that is really new or that nobody has heard of. So definitely mention to your shop owner, hey, we carry Aspire products. Did you know that they had a juice line? Reach out to Aspire, let them email them, Facebook, Instagram, the website, aspirehookah.com, and reach out to them and say, hey, I work at a shop, I own a shop, or we'd be interested in carrying your line, and definitely hit it up. It definitely will fit well with the other Aspire products. It's a great hand-in-hand sale. You sell an Aspire tank, hey, why don't you fill it with Aspire's juice that they just debuted. But overall, with that, Aspire Vape Co., Aspire Hookah, thank you guys so much. Like I said, I've been a fan of your products for a while. I've used a lot of your tanks and things with that. Great opportunity to do the review on this line. I'm so grateful for that and very humbled. Guys, as always, I'm Token Vaping here on YouTube. Thank you for watching so much. That little red button on the bottom that says subscribe, if you'd be so kind. But if not, thank you for taking the time just to watch the video. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Pinterest, anything that I can do to help further enhance your vaping experience. Honestly, that is the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm not doing it for any hidden agenda. I'm not doing it under the table for anything. I'm doing this because I want vapors to know what options and choices they have out there to better fulfill their vaping needs, period. So if there's anything that you'd like to see a video of, any questions that you have, anything that I can find out for you, please let me know. I will do the best that I can to find out that information, and so pass it on to you. Finally, in closing, guys, if you have not joined any of the advocacy groups or done anything to help partake in the fight for vaping rights, please do so. It is imperative, more so now than before, that we band together as a whole unit and let our voice be heard as one towards our vaping rights and to fight all the regulation rules and everything else. So if you have not, there are a bunch of different ways to do so. Please contact all the advocacy groups, or even just reach out to people who might know more or already belong to the groups. They'll be able to direct you the right way to help contribute to that as well. Until next time, guys, Aspire, thank you guys so very much. Vaping community, I'm Token Vaping. Until the next video, vape on, vape strong. Have a good night, guys.